in this fight, there was only one opening where Dillon could have came out the real loser across the board. Because had he fought in the fight and went out like a warrior, he's swinging, he's maybe not so much dodge, but you're in a fight, right? I think they could have looked at that as still honorable. Dillon Danis went in there and without question, he took the biggest possible L that you can take, and it's still persisting because he's talking trash on Twitter.
And what's frustrating, he's going like, oh, in a real fight I would kill him. It's like,
right.
Doesn't
it's
matter,
like
bro.
You had an opportunity, like you both were in the ring, because my biggest problem was watching the fight through the first 3 rounds. I think that sticks. That he was like, all right, I'm going to try to walk this guy down and then respond if he punches himself out. The problem was you're taking all this damage. You've got to survive to make it to that point. Yeah. Moreover, you know how fighting works. You can have a plan of saying, all right, well, all I have to just do is endure, and then I'll strike back and get one big shot. Is that going to help you in the end? If there's no guarantee it's going to work, at least send back some counter punches. Do something. He did nothing. And in the midst of trying to walk Logan down, he wasn't swinging or whatever the case. You just invited this man to punch you in the face. He punched you in the face. You did nothing. There was no adjustments. There was no sort of, all right, cool, this is a strategy. Nothing. By the time the 3rd round came, whatever sort of plan you may have had coming into the fight, throw that sumbitch out and then make a switch. None of that happened. Then, after you lose, all of the shit talking that you did, talking about, oh man, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna knock you out.
Talking means
everything, right? It no longer means nothing.
Even when he says, oh, I'm gonna fight Logan in an MMA fight.
Right.
Let's do an MMA fight. I'm almost confident Logan will win an MMA fight too now.
Right, right, like, 100%, 100%.
Because even when Danis tried to take him down, Logan walks off to the corner. I started laughing. He's like, man, all state wrestler, baby, all state, because he was a wrestler.
Right.
So it's like, yo, you got your ass whooped like that.
You got embarrassed, and because let's just say it was early in the fight, right? Here's the biggest way that Danis could have avoided, looking like a complete clown, especially in that 6th round where he started swinging at security. There was 2 different things in the fight that I looked at and I said, wait a minute, these are situations to where Danis could have made adjustments. One, had all of the takedowns that he did in the 6th round, had he did that early in the fight, so it appears as if he's struggling to make the adjustment from MMA to boxing, he could have saved himself. Because let's just say you're in the midst of your combination and you go for the takedown. That's just natural muscle memory.
Yeah.
So if you were to get disqualified there, it's like, yo, I'm struggling to make but you have the willingness to do it. He did none of that until the 6th round. And then furthermore, what I think he could have done to where he doesn't look like a complete clown was all of the trolling that he was doing in the midst of the fight, whether it was making faces, talking shit, putting his hands behind his back, laying on the ground. If he immediately responded from that with swinging at Logan, with the intention of actually doing damage rather than just going through the motion, he could have came out looking completely different. And then after the fact that the fight was over, the moment that the security had stepped into the ring, he started rushing towards the security. The fight's done. Yeah. You did nothing, and now you're throwing punches at the security. There was an element of, I think it was early in the 6th round where the security guard stepped into the ring. That should have been an immediate disqualification on Logan's end. But the fact that Dillon is even trying to claim that after being in the ring and doing nothing, you look like an absolute clown.
It's really disappointing, man. I was on Dillon Danis' side.
Yeah.
I really wanted, because Logan, I'm not a big Logan Paul fan. I think, like, after seeing him argue with Jake, he does some stuff that's, like, questionable.
Right.
Like, I'm a big Jake Paul fan. Logan, not so much. And I really want Dillon Danis to, like, win, humble him. I think it would have been a good, like, little redemption story for Dillon Danis. Mm-hmm. And instead, what happens is now you have a Logan Paul redemption arc, because he whoops his ass, and then he goes on his podcast talking about how he found Jesus. Yeah. And it's like, now you give Logan this redemption arc. Right. Of like, so I was rooting for him. It's unfortunate that the training didn't match the shit talk. Because if you're gonna shit talk like that, you gotta back it up, bro. You have to. You have to back it up. If you don't, and then you start doing cop-outs like, oh, well, in a real fight I would win. It's like one of those things where it's like, it's an excuse.
Yeah, I know you are, well, what am I? I know you are, well, what am I?
Like, yeah, it's like, well, I wasn't even trying. It's like, bruh.
There's no way around it, and it's so disappointing because here's a guy who he flipped the perception of him because people disliked Logan so much that they got behind you 100%. There's people who have no interest in boxing, no interest in combat, nothing. But they were just curious because here's a dude who's outing information about another dude's fiance.
Yeah.
They support the dude who's outing it to where they join in. And they're trolling Logan together. Everybody collectively trolling, and you fail. It's one of those very disappointing situations because it's like he unilaterally made the decision to step into the ring and not punch. Nobody told you not to punch. You're in control of your hands. If somebody hits me in the face and I'm in a fight, the context has changed. It's different if it's like, all right, I don't want to fight you. I've agreed to this fight. We did the weigh-in. You were complaining prior to the fight. I'm talking shit.
I'm saying I'm going to knock you out.
I'm saying I'm going to knock you out. I brought your wife, well, soon-to-be wife, into it.
Yeah.
We're now in the ring. Even if you hit me harder than I had anticipated your strength to be, we're in a fight. And the objective of the fight is to win the fight. So at least operate as if you're trying to win.
Yeah, like I said, it invalidates everything he said. Because you say I'm going to knock you out, and you go out and you give that performance.
Right, exactly.
You're a liar.
Yeah.
You're a liar. You're
100%.
all talk. And when you're all talk, your words mean nothing anymore.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things, like, as a man, you got to be like, you know what? I'm going to be a man of my word, regardless.
Yep.
But if it gets that easy to discourage you from, like, if you're saying I'm going to knock you out, but then you get hit a little harder than you expect, and now, like, it changes from, instead of I'm going to knock you out, well, if it was a real fight, and then what, you do a real fight, you lose that also. Oh, well, he's on steroids. It's always going to be something that follows up after that.
Right.
There's never any sort of accountability, and because of that, it just rubs me the wrong way.
What was it in Scarface where Tony had said, in this world, you only have your word and your balls?
Yeah.
And now Dillon Danis looks like a neutered mute.